Hello friends, and welcome back to Jurassic Awakening on the center map in arksurvivalascended. In today's adventure, I went out solo. I started out on the Blue Ob Island, and while I was there, I spotted this baryonyx and wasn't sure if I wanted to tame it or not. So decided to look around a little bit more when I spotted a grasslands rex. Now with the rexes in Jurassic Awakening, the best way to get a saddle is to kill other rexes. You get better blueprints and better saddles. So I figured I'd go ahead and take it out with my little raptor pack. And while I was killing it, realized it had a baby. So we quickly claimed the baby and decided to head back over to the baryonyx to see if we could knock it out. And lucky for me, it got caught up on a tree, so I was able to knock it out rather painlessly. Now in Jurassic Awakening, sometimes the food of choice for a tame can be tweaked or changed. Not knowing exactly what food to put in the baryonyx, I threw in what I thought was the taming food and went off to explore more of the island. And while exploring, I found this little lady, a jungle saber. A few days before, Pico had tamed a male jungle saber, so now we could have a mate pair. So while my saber was knocked out, I went back to check on the baryonyx, trying some other taming foods. I had a couple of pieces of preferred kibble, but once it ate it, I was kind of stuck trying different things. So I went exploring to see if I could find some mutton, to see if that would be a good taming food. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any mutton, but I just kept an eye on my saber and the baryonyx to see if they would tame up. And while I was waiting, I spotted another rex and decided to see if I could tame it. And while I was taming it, I realized I ran out of trank arrows. So quickly, I decided to take a quick trip back over to our little island base and get some more narcotics to see if I can finish knocking out this rex. So with a quick trip back to base, narcotics obtained, I rafted my way back over to the Blue Ob Island and finished knocking out the rex, who happened to have a baby. So while I was waiting for the rex and the saber, I noticed a crab down the beach and decided to test out my little raptor pack to see just how strong they had gotten. I was also trying to avoid not getting picked off my raptor by the crab. So, since the baryonyx was not taming up, I decided to give up on the baryonyx. While waiting for my saber, a microraptor came by. And during the fight, my raptors killed the saber that was almost tamed. Stupid microraptors. So with the rex tamed and a baby acquired. We balled up our guys and headed back to base for a quick sort through inventory, refreshing narcotics and ammunition, and also getting the saddle that I happened to have found for the grassland Rex. So we loaded up our Rex and took him out for a new test spin to see just how strong he really was. And as we approached the beach, we avoided a megalodon attack. So as we stomped around the island, leveling up our new Rex, I spotted this little lady and decided we should tame her. So I quickly balled up my Rex and threw out one of my raptors so that we could easily maneuver to start tranking out the Carno. And of course, once we've knocked her out, the neighbors decided to get involved. So once we were able to get some food in the Carno, we waited for her to tame up. Once she was tamed, we quickly balled her up and took a brief trip back to base. After a little bit of base organization, I decided to go back out and try to look for a beetle. We needed a dung beetle to start creating fertilizer so that we could start our garden. And I knew from Vanilla Ark that on the top of Skull Island, you could often find dung beetles. And on the server, we do have a dino finder, and it did say there was a dung beetle at the top of Skull Island. So I took my trusty Sinnoh, we flew up, and sure enough, there it was. So we started taming a dung beetle. So once we tamed it, we balled it up to head back to base. So a few days later, I decided to go back out on a solo adventure. I had spent the last 4 or 5 days moving our base into one of the large ruins in the center of the map, and decided to go out and explore our new neighborhood, see if there was anything interesting to tame or just what was around. I wanted to see if I could inch my way over into the swamp area because I wanted some biotoxin, since biotoxin arrows seem to do a little better with taming. Don't think I was ready for exactly what I found. So I decided that my little raptor pack and I would try and take on this basilisk while it was being distracted by other things. While we were able to take down the basilisk, sadly, I lost one of my little raptors. So, as we were regrouping, we started getting attacked again by the local neighbors, and one of my raptors quickly got carried away by a capro. While I was trying to rescue my raptor, I was getting attacked by Hunter Meganera. Since my arrows weren't taking down the capro fast enough, I decided to grab my Rex and see if we could take it out. While I was looking for my Rex, the capro disappeared off into the swamp area. So I did a quick track on my raptor to try and determine where the capro had taken off with my raptor so that we could get her back as quickly as possible. So with my raptor rescued, we made a quick exit out of the swamps, only to find that my other raptor had been taken by another capro. And then a Sarco decided to get in on the fun. So I then decided we had had enough of playing in the swamp and headed back to base. So after a little bit of time at base and giving everyone a chance to heal, I decided to go out again, but stick to the area just around base, which is more of the jungle and grassland area, to take a look and see what kind of neighbors we were dealing with. I spotted the aloe pack and debated whether or not to try and tame them, but they seemed to be rather busy. But off in the distance, I noticed a Rex. So I figured I'd go ahead and try and tame the Rex. Now, one of the things that Jurassic Awakening has recently added to the mod are heavy bolas. They're used to bola bigger creatures. So I decided to give it a shot and see if it would work on the Rex. And I learned very quickly that it does not. So I quickly tried to put a little distance between myself and the Rex so that I could quickly try and come up with another plan. But this Rex was pretty quick. So I balled up my saber and used my Sinnoh to try and fly up to the ledge just above where the Rex was. So this plan has its pros and cons. The pro is you can shoot down from the distance to the Rex and not endanger yourself. The con, when the Rex decides to get up against the rocks and you can't see below the ledge. Trying to jump down to the next ledge, I overshot and ended up back down on the ground. Finally on the ledge that I was aiming for, I tried to start shooting back at the Rex again, which proved to be somewhat difficult at times. I remembered that I had the biotoxin arrows, so I wanted to give them a shot. Finally able to knock out the Rex, I quickly flew over and put some food in its inventory and waited for it to tame up. So once the Rex was settled and we were waiting for taming, I decided to go back down the hill to see what the aloes were up to. And decided to start taming. As I was shooting, trying to knock it out, especially since it was distracted, he got distracted on another dino in the area and got himself killed. So I decided to go to one of the other aloes in the aloe pack. Unfortunately, I'm not the best shot with the bolo. Third time's a charm, and I began the taming process. So once I was able to get her knocked out, I got her settled with food in her inventory and went up to check on our Rex. Once he tamed up, I balled him up and went back to wait for our aloe. But while we were waiting for our aloe, another neighbor decided to interfere. Dimorphodon had decided it wanted to play. Unfortunately, the Dimorphodon and my saber both had hit the aloe a few times, which lowered the taming effectiveness. But after a long day out, I didn't want to wait for it to wake back up. And knowing that I would probably only be using her as a breeder, I just let her finish taming. So once she tamed up, we headed back to base. I just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to check out the other creators that I have links to in my description below that are also adventuring their way through the Jurassic Awakening series. If you like the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to keep following along on the Jurassic Awakening series, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.